Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. Well, literary news. Lady Colin Campbell has released an updated version of her Meghan and Harry The Real Story, subtitled Persecutors or Victims. She's updated the whole book and she's on the interview circuit having talks with all the YouTubers that we watch, and it's been quite good to see, and it has brought up some questions that we've talked about all along. But as far as the press went, crickets, nobody was saying anything. Take, for example, the whole Birkenhead incident where her and Harry, Meghan and Harry, were there. She was supposedly pregnant with Archie at the time. She was wearing that red coat with the purple dress and just a monstrous baby bump that was like here, it just big and apparent. She was holding her bump and the whole making a play of it. Well, over the course of the day, over the course of the engagement, and you can see in the photographs, the bump slips from here to like down there, down around her knees, the hem of the dress, and you can see the bump. It couldn't be more obvious. We all saw it. All the pictures were published. The press was present, yet crickets. We didn't hear a thing about it. Nobody mentioned, gee, isn't that odd? How does that happen? Nobody mentioned it. It's like the emperor's new clothes. Everybody kept quiet, And at the time, shortly thereafter, we had Harry coming out, when he was doing interviews and the Netflix and all of that, and the Oprah interview, all along, he's been saying, oh, well, there's always been a deal between the press and the palace, and suppressing some stories and pushing others, and this is the way it works. And at the time, everybody was poo-pooing him. Oh, Harry's just full of it. This never happened. Well, we know. And I mean, now they're agreeing. Now they're admitting it because they have to. But here's the thing. Even back in Diana's day, you can go back to like 1987, before there was anything in the press. The press knew, the papers knew. They already had the Camilla Gate tapes and the Squidgy Gate tapes under wraps. They hadn't published them yet, but they knew that Camilla was on the scene. They knew that Charles and Diana were pretty much living separate lives, but in front of the public, they were acting like that everything was just fine. But because of deals made and deference to the royal family on the part of the press, see, the press and the government has always bowed to the palace's preference, what they want. There was a moratorium on talking about it. Everybody knew it was an open secret. Everybody knew, but they weren't allowed to talk. And much the same has gone on with the whole Harry and Meghan thing. I mean, over the course of the last 5 years, the things that I've discovered alone, the things that some of our big YouTubers have discovered and been talking about. Good heavens. How can we be privy to this information and the press just not have a clue? Never report on it, never say anything. Well, it's not that simple. They know. They know. But they've been told to turn a blind eye to it, I think, because from the beginning, and I mean, look at when Andrew was dating Koo Stark. She was in a couple saucy movies. By today's standards, nothing, not even as nasty as what Meghan's done on film. But it was all a furor there, and that basically torpedoed their relationship because it got out in the press. You don't think that Meghan hasn't been investigated by the palace or MI5, His Majesty's Secret Service, whatever? Of course. Of course she would have been investigated, and of course they would have found things out that they have to hush up. Same with Wallace Simpson. The public didn't know anything until about 3 weeks before the abdication. The elites knew, the establishment knew, the government knew, but the general public didn't. And the palace has always had a practice of only showing the public what they want them to see. This is not new. But now that so much has come out about Harry and Meghan, that it cannot be denied anymore. And also because of their, some would call it traitorous behavior towards the crown, because of the things they've said and done, and the time that's passed and the situation that we find ourselves in. I think the press, maybe with the palace's blessing, but I think the press, we're starting to see them turn on her. Now, are we ever going to see an expose from Richard Kay, of Birkenhead baby bumps and a blind eye played by the press? Are we ever going to see an article by Richard Kay of that title? That's my title, by the way. Are we ever going to see it? We might. Are they ever going to be called to task and made to be accountable for their actions, their behavior, and the things they've said? Who knows? But maybe we're starting to turn a corner on all of this. On one little thing, like basically Meghan and Harry, it's been a whole thing. I mean, she's used the race card to blackmail them, kind of have them over a barrel, and she's pushed it a couple times and has caused some very uncomfortable situations for the royal family indeed. When will they have enough and say, no, the knives are out? Are we going to see it anytime soon? There is, the other brain of thought that's basically give them enough rope to hang themselves. Like, you don't interrupt when your enemies are making mistakes. I mean, look at everything they do falls flat. Everything they do blows up in their face. So, in a way, isn't that reward enough to see them fail as they try to, denigrate everybody else and use everybody else and take advantage of everybody else? Is that not enough for us? Well, I don't think so, because what they've done is so bad that there needs to be called an accounting for their behavior. And maybe the new attention paid, and as Lady Colin goes on more interviews and TV, perhaps news programs, and brings attention to this again. I want to see her on GB News and every program bringing up the Birkenhead incident, showing those pictures online and talking about it. And maybe, people will see what's right in front of them and go, holy crap, yeah, they were lying to us. Holy moly. Maybe there's something to this whole Archie and Lilibet, and are there really kids or not, and everything they've been calling us conspiracy theories about, The interesting thing about conspiracy theories is usually they turn out to be true or have some element of truth to them. And that's why they're dangerous, and that's why they are characterized as conspiracy theories, to make us all look like nutters, to try to squash the story. And I mean, this has been going on with Harry and Meghan from the get-go. Thanks to, the palace. The others protecting them, Oprah, the government, But I think the time has come for full disclosure, and let's hope that Lady C can, get on some news channels and bring some attention to this. Keep talking Birkenhead, Lady C. Show those pictures. Bring it to everybody's attention so it cannot be denied. Cannot be denied. And then maybe, once there's a bit of it, and I've said at some point there's going to be a watershed where this kind of information comes out. One thing really interesting I just thought about, this is very interesting, a few months back, Lady Colin alluded to, and at the time she said a few months in the springtime, that there was going to be some kind of watershed moment. Poop was going to hit the fan. Could she have been talking about the revelations in her updated version of Harry and Meghan, the real story? That this was going to be the event? And she couldn't talk about it then. She couldn't tell us then. Are these updates and these revelations and the pushing of this information out into the public Lady Colin's way of forcing disclosure? Could she have been behind this all along when she was saying, oh yeah, in the spring there's going to be, there's something big. Could she be the force behind it? I'm beginning to wonder. And if that's the case, all power to Lady C. And let's see what happens. Let's expose this. Have a great day, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.